It's been a difficult week after the game against PSG. We got disappointed, but we have to move on, and we came here with the mentality to win the game.
Gabby, how you doing, my friend? Unlucky this week, but fantastic today. I thought you was man of the match for us today. I just wanted to say, Gabby, in respect of your mental, how you feel mentally, going in at 2-0 down and then coming and getting a result in a game. But we kind of need the result because of Newcastle. Where did that come from, Gabby? What was said at half-time? Was everybody shouting? What was it like in the dressing room?
Legend, you okay? It's always good to talk to you.
I love you, my friend.
I love you too. You know how it is to play for this football club. We never give up, and this is what we talked at half-time, that we couldn't play the same way that we did in the first half, that we could do better. We just stick together, and we did pretty well in the second half. In the beginning, we just scored the goal, and we just went for it.
Nice one.
Gabby, it's Michael Owen here. I've been reliably informed for Arsenal. Just talk us through your goal. We can have a look at it now. You just managed to pull away from Virgil van Dijk, I think, and obviously find the far corner.
Yeah, I mean, I just was speaking to Leo so he could go out, and I tried to stay in between them because they are so tall, and I wouldn't have any chance if I was close to them. So I just tried to be in between, and when the ball was coming, I just thought about putting it in the net.
And Gabby, you've now scored more goals against Liverpool than any other team in an Arsenal shirt. And let me tell you this, the legend here scored as many goals as you have at Anfield against Liverpool. So there you go. Dizzy heights.
Gabby's a legend.
No. It's really good to know that, but he's the legend. I just try to do my best.
And just quickly, big game now for Newcastle. If you win that, you can relax and you're in the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, we still have 2 games to go. We have to win those 2. We go to the games to win. This is what we need to do.
Well done today. Thanks for joining us.
Safe trip back, my friend.
Thank you, guys.
God bless.
Take care.
That is Gabriel Martinelli.
One of them. And, yeah, he'll be sick, as I was.
Yeah, because to put into context, you went back with Newcastle, having desperately tried to go back to Liverpool.
Yeah, I've spoken about it before. It still affects me a little bit to this day, as you probably know, Steve. He thinks he should just try something different in his life. Just, that won't take away his love for the club, is where his heart is, where he's grown up, all those things. And then for his own people to boo him, it's a big lump in your throat. I remember sitting in the players' lounge after playing against Liverpool for Newcastle. Parents, myself, all in floods of tears because I'd just been booed by my own people, and I struggle to comprehend it nowadays. So I as I say, I'm probably the closest person on the planet that knows exactly what it feels like to be in Trent's shoes now. So he'll be mortal.
Like, for him to be leaving for free, Steve, seems to be not enough for them to be as angry as they are. They surely have to be able to look at what he's done for them, how hard it is. I thought his statement towards the fans was fantastic. How hard it is for him to make that decision, and who's making the decision to try and take him. I think for them to be like this, and knowing the stories about what happens with Stevie and everything, it really is disgusting to the core how they're treating him.
I think he touched on a really important thing. That, I mean, Liverpool fans are so unique. They will never, ever boo their own. When you're playing in that red shirt, even if you're the worst player on the planet, if you're playing in that red shirt, you're one of them. And I've been to other clubs, I've seen it. They will boo their own just because of bad performances. Liverpool fans are so in love, so, connected to their team. It's a unique, what we saw, the scenes we saw when they won the league, it's incredible how passionate they are for their team. They would do anything for their own. However, as Wright has just touched on, if then they know you're leaving or something, untoward happens or wrong happens or whatever in their eyes, then of course they will let you know then, and they let me know, they let Trent know, Steve McManaman, before me, etc., etc. So You know, I'm sure lots of Liverpool fans will be churning in their stomach themselves. Probably 95% of Liverpool fans will be saying, we weren't booing, we've loved Trent,
Sounded like a lot, though.
etc.
Sounded like a lot.
Sort of the levels of what we talk about Virgil
So
van
at the
Dijk.
moment, do they almost sort of need each other in that?
He needs Gabriel. I think since Gabriel has come out of the team, that's not the same Saliba I've watched. The amount of mistakes he's made in the last couple of months, it feels like he makes a big mistake every game.
But is that something that does come, you know, in terms of more experience, more years, more confidence?
I mean, how old is he now? Is he 24, 25 now?
You're asking a lot of questions, Dave.
No, what I'm saying is he's not a kid, and he's probably not quite in his prime, but I'd be hoping that. So when you're a centre-back, I'd be hoping now that, OK, this guy next to me is the leader.
So 24, 24.
OK, when he moves away, you've got to then become the leader of that back four and organise people and not just play your own game. For me, the great centre-backs, it's not about how good you are and what everything you can do. Oh, he's great in the air, he's got great pace, he's on the ball. You want all that, but you need to affect other people. Think of the great centre-backs down there. Think of Tony Adams. Think of Virgil van Dijk here. They're not just great players, they make everybody else around them look like great players. And that's the thing that I think is still lacking with Saliba. Without Gabriel, he doesn't look the same player, and that's not something you want to be labelled as. I mean, I'd be embarrassed if I was playing centre-back for Liverpool and people saying he's not the same player without him next to him. Now, we say that about a lot of Liverpool centre-backs when Virgil van Dijk's not there, but he's very rarely out, and he makes the person alongside him look like a top player. And if I'm being totally honest, a lot of the Liverpool centre-backs over the last 3 or 4 years, I think Liverpool supporters think they're a lot better than they actually are because of who they were playing alongside.
Can I just ask you, though, as the game moved on, because we talk about positioning, you was all about positioning, being in the right spot, and I played centre right a lot of games, but mainly at right back. But is it because they're asked, you know, what they're asked to do on the ball while they're getting into these positions? So a lot of the mistakes that you're talking about, some of them have been on the ball, the way he wants to play and sort of push into midfield at times, then he's getting caught. So on the first goal, you mentioned about him being really high, but as a coach, as Arteta, he might want him to be really high though. So are we being too critical in terms of them when they're on the ball?
Well, I'm not one of them who, the same people sometimes hear people say, oh, the centre-backs were better 10, 15, 20 years ago when I was playing. That is absolute rubbish. Centre-back now, for me, is the hardest position to play on the pitch. What you're asked to do on the ball from the goalkeeper, you're asked to be like a midfield player, you're asked to push up to the halfway line, you've got to have the pace of a striker. There's no doubt for me, centre-backs now, how good they are, they're better than what we've seen before, or they're asked to do a lot more. Whether those players of the past could do that today, I think a lot of them could, but it's a very demanding position. But on the first one, we talk about man-to-man. He goes in there. There's only one man. They've got 2 centre-backs. Eventually, Kivior comes across and takes him. You've got to understand the game and read the game. My mate needs help. You've got to cover Ben White. He's just in no man's land again. But I don't see him sort of... I'm still waiting to see that next step of becoming a great... He's a top player. He's got everything you'd want. But to make that next step of being alongside those people I'm just saying before, Tony Adams in an Arsenal shirt, Virgil van